go find somewhere to set this phone up at. Welcome to Crowdercast number 5. Oh, I forgot I had stew in the microwave. No. Ooh. Anyways, I forgot I had stew in the microwave. That's the container it was in. I had to put it back in the microwave in a ceramic bowl because I don't think that plastic was very strong. It looked like it was kind of getting soft, like very soft. Kind of like one of those boil and bite mouthpieces. Anyways. I actually kind of expected the container to get soft because, it's that kind of plastic. The juices overflowed a little bit, so I kind of had to wipe it out with a paper towel. Anyways, welcome to Crowdercast number 5. Today I just want to talk about something relatable. Why is the grill open? Are we grilling today? Now, as throughout our lives, we all have a certain fear. Now, some of us have some very unusual fears. Some of us have some very common fears, like heights, roller coasters, clowns, But I think I found a more uncommon fear. I'm gonna go get that stew at the microwave really quickly. So I gotta give this stew some time to cool off first, but look at those ingredients. Protein, hearty meal. Let's let that cool off a little bit. Okay, back to what I was saying. I think I found a very unusual fear that I have. One that's more uncommon. In fact, I'm not gonna say no one else in this whole world has this fear because out of all the people, there's no way we have a unique experience. Like out of all the people, we all had to experience something, together. So I want to say, I can't remember how old was I. I want to say a little bit in middle school. I just started becoming more aware of things. Like, how I look, this, and that, how something works. Just realizing something can happen at any moment and I can't control it. Yeah, it's actually kind of connected, kind of similar, not connected, similar to this experience I had in 2nd grade, where I used to be scared of fire drills because, it's loud, and then on the way out of the school, they're blowing in your ear. So I used to sit in class. Well, first of all, I've been dealing with fire drills from kindergarten, obviously kinder, pre-K, 1st grade, and then 2nd grade. Yes, 2nd grade. 2nd grade. Actually, yeah, 1st and 2nd, I think. 1st grade through 2nd grade, I decided that, you know what? These fire drills can happen at any moment. So what I'll do is I'll go to class, right? I sit down, I put my stuff down quickly because I'm like, man, this fire drill can happen any moment. I need to be ready to, make sure I'm prepared. So I put my backpack down. As soon as I sit down, I'll sit there with my ears covered. Cause I'm like, bro, if a fire drill happens, I need to be prepared. So I just sit there with my ears covered the whole time, just ears covered, looking stupid. Okay, so ears covered, right? And then what else? Teacher be asking me, okay, you good? I'll be like, yeah, I'm good. But even when your ears are covered, teachers who teach little kids, they speak a little loud for some reason, loud or energetic. I usually hated that, but So even though I had my ears covered, I could still hear them talking. And then when they said something like grab a pencil, I was like, oh man, I gotta release one of these ears. Then I found a solution. I was like, you know what? While I'm digging in my backpack, I'm gonna use my shoulder to cover the ear while I dig in the backpack, and grab a pencil. So I'm just sitting there, just digging in the backpack, right, looking stupid. Cause I'm like, bro, if this fire drill goes off, I need to be prepared. Anyway, so that's one experience. The experience I really want to talk about today the fear I really want to talk about that I just developed sometime around 8th grade. Yes, 8th grade. 7th and 8th grade. It was fear of airbags. Now, because it's like, I'm just sitting there chilling, I'm realizing, okay, if your airbag is faulty, it can deploy at any moment. Like, you could just be chilling and it just boom, you get slapped upside the head with an airbag. So I used to be scared on car rides, especially when we start hitting bumps and stuff. I'd be like, bro, if we hit a bump, this airbag finna fly out. Sometimes I'll see the airbag light that indicates a faulty airbag. And then I'll get paranoid. I'm like, okay, so we got a faulty airbag, meaning this airbag gonna deploy, man. It is gonna deploy at some moment. So once again, I need to make sure I'm prepared. So I'm just sitting there. I'm looking at all the airbag deployable spots on the car. Okay, so the airbag can come out from right here. Airbag can come out from right there. I'm sitting in the front seat. The airbag can fly out, and then if the airbag deploys, what if all the airbags deploy and the driver can't see? And then we really gonna need the airbags, but they don't already blew out. So, and it was just like a weird fear I had because it's like, one day I just got up and just started fearing everything. You ever seen that show on Netflix called Figure or Foe? It was like a little bald kid with like a little strand of hair. He lived in this mansion by himself somehow, just big old house on the hills. He had a robotic pet dog, and then he had a crush on. I think at one point he had a crush on this tall girl, and at another point he had a crush on this crazy thing. You ever seen that show before? If you haven't seen it, it's not too late. Look it up on YouTube. They took it off of Netflix, that's for sure. In fact, the original came out in 2008. So, yeah, it's pretty bad. It's pretty disgusting. I actually do not advise you watch it. But that kid had a fear of everything. I mean, the whole show, the show is about him, his fears. It's about fear. This kid has a fear of every single thing. Opening the mailbox, fear of cake, fear of jello, fear of being alive, fear of mirrors, fear of spider webs, fear of skin. I'm talking about fear of life in general. And then I kind of had a similar moment. I just woke up one day and just decided, what if a bomb just dropped on my head out of nowhere? Like, I'm just chilling. And then here comes a bomb and I'm out of there. And we're not even at war. Well, now we are, but I'm talking about previously. We weren't even at war. So I'm like, what if an unknown secret bomb just fell on my head and there ain't nothing I could do about it? Or what if a tsunami came through? Ain't nothing I could do about it. Or what if a meteorite just struck the ground? Ain't nothing I can do about it. Like, just nothing I can do about it. And then people get to talking about, people say this, they got the saying, like they say God can take you whenever he thinks you're ready. And after hearing that statement, I was like, oh man. Y'all always talk about how I might live up to like 80, 70, 80 years old. It's like I could be going tomorrow. And I just thought about it. I was like, I started being cautious. As a kid, I would jump off a cliff, or like jump off of rocks, do all this crazy stuff, backflips. And then now, the same stuff I did as a kid, I'm scared to do now. Believe it or not, as a kid, I would do like a rope course, something like that. I was always scared of roller coasters, so that's a fear. I'm still scared of them. I don't care what anybody says. People ask me how I'm scared of roller coasters at 6 feet. That's the stupidest thing I ever heard, but I'm not gonna talk about that. I already talked about it on Instagram. But it's like, I just became aware of everything. So I'm like, I can't do the things I used to somehow. Like, as a kid, I was able to do this, but now I'm not. Because as a kid, I'm just cruising along. I see this green stuff in the water. I'm like, it's nothing. And then I wake up and I understand, okay, that green stuff could be a monster or something like that. Not a monster, like an alligator, something reasonable. It could be something alive. Even if it's not dangerous, if it's alive, I don't want nothing to do with it. Okay? Then I get to walk in the water all cautiously. I'm like, oh man, I don't like this. I don't get it. Figure 4.